if you're judging people based off their looks and their appearances, you've got to figure your own life out first. You got a lot to figure out other than just social media.
That means I'm moving. I made a few mistakes, but I'm improving. I'm human, but I've been making daily resolutions. I got to. You might do it different, but I'm not you.
Hey, Mark.
I'm self-made. I'm
Hey, Mark.
doing things that I
Mark.
was never taught.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, what is up? So, welcome to another episode of Hey Mark, the podcast where I, Mark, get to have open and authentic conversations about the things that we don't always talk about, the things that, maybe don't come up in everyday, day-to-day conversations. Things like depression, anxiety, mental health, or just the struggles that we go through on a day-to-day basis. The reason I want to do this is because I want to let people know that no matter what they are dealing with, and that means you as well, no matter what you're dealing with, you are not alone. Before we jump into today's episode, let me just kind of explain what this segment is all about. This segment is called What Would Mark Do? It's a segment where you can send in a clip of you asking a question, talking about a win that you've had in your life recently, a success story, something that you're struggling with currently, something that you've struggled with in the past that maybe someone might benefit from hearing your perspective on, anything like that. Send in your clips to Hey Mark Podcast and basically just explain something or ask something, and I'll give you my 2 cents. Maybe we'll agree, maybe we'll disagree, maybe we'll come to some common ground, or maybe someone else will comment some sort of a perspective that helps you out in the future. So my goal is basically just to create these conversations, create a conversation around these things that we might be struggling with. Without further ado, let's roll today's clip and I'll give you my 2 cents.
Hey Mark, what's your best advice when it comes to self-confidence and not constantly comparing ourselves to those around us and also all those images we always see on social media?
So this question is about confidence, kind of comparing yourself to what you see on social media. So actually the last episode that I did was all about confidence. So if you have any questions about confidence or you want to go and check that out, or you've already seen it, you don't want to check it out, I don't know. Basically, I'll summarize that episode and just say that to get your confidence, it can't come from an external thing. It has to come from within. And if you want to hear about how that can happen in your life, I would recommend going back and checking out that episode. But in terms of comparing yourself to what you see on social media, I'll kind of dive into that today a little bit more. So obviously, like I said, your confidence, your self-esteem, your self-worth has to come from within. It's not going to come from how many followers you have, how many likes you get, how many people share your posts, or any of that shit. In fact, in my personal opinion, that's not even the way that social media is supposed to be used. Social media is supposed to be used, in my personal opinion, to connect with your friends, connect with your loved ones, kind of share your story, or maybe build your brand, build your company, build your side hustle, or just, grow a business. But it's not supposed to be where you grow your self-image or your self-worth or your confidence. You have to understand that social media is inherently addictive. It plays on our, dopamine and serotonin levels. It plays with kind of that instant gratification side of us that we all have in our personalities. If you need to hear more about how social media can be damaging for our mental health and for our society, obviously you can go and check out that Netflix documentary, The Social Dilemma. I would highly recommend it because it was a huge eye-opener for me. But let's jump into the comparisons that we make, and understand first off, right off the bat, that everybody makes these comparisons. Comparisons are something that we naturally do. In fact, in my personal opinion, it's something that's etched in us through evolution, through our development as a species. It's important to understand that even the people that say things like, oh, I don't compare myself to other people, that's just something that other people do, they're comparing themselves to other people right then and there. And so this is something that we do because like I said, in my personal opinion, it's because of the evolution of our species. Looking at other people and thinking, okay, do they have enough to survive? Do I have to have the same amount of, things as them, resources or friends or whatever it could be? Do I have as much as that person there that seems to be surviving so that I can make sure that I survive? Right? But when you're comparing yourself to other people's social media pages, what you are is you're doing yourself a disservice. You're comparing yourself to a false reality. You're comparing your regular life to their highlight reel. All the images, the clips, the videos or anything that you see on somebody's social media is all doctored stuff. It's all images that they took. Maybe they took 50,000 images. Maybe they took 100 pictures that day. They go through it. They pick out, maybe 1, 2, 3 of the best looking pictures where the angle was just right, the lighting was just right. Maybe they rented a car or bought an outfit and left the tags on it to return it later. You have no idea what that person that you're looking at is actually doing. You have no idea what their life is actually like. And so you're actually just comparing yourself to your perception of what their life could possibly be like. You're basically, like I said, creating a false reality. The other aspect of it that seems very dangerous and kind of leaves a weird taste in my mouth is the fact that we create these false idols and we idolize these people just based off how they look or how their lives appear to us. And then we start to, strive to want to be like them just because of the way that they look or the way that they can take a picture at a cool angle. So like I said, to summarize, basically when you are comparing yourself to other people, what you're doing is you're creating a false reality. You're comparing your regular life to something that, is basically their highlight reel. And a lot of the times it's not even a real, depiction of what their life actually is like. A lot of these people are miserable in real life as well, but that's another subject for another day. And the other thing is we're creating false idols. We're idolizing people because of the way that they look. And all of us know that that's the most superficial, surface level way to kind of judge somebody or something. And, I really think that if that's the way that you're putting value on the people around you is the way that they look or the way that they appear on social media, you probably have to reflect on, your own priorities and your own values. And as harsh as that sounds, if you're judging people based off their looks and their appearances, you've got to figure your own life out first. You got a lot to figure out other than just social media. So understand this, comparing yourself to the people around you is completely normal, but you have to be able to be present in the moment and understand that, okay, I'm just comparing myself to this person because this is kind of just the way that my brain works right now. There's no reason I need to compare myself to this person. I have a completely different life than them. Our lives are on different timelines. Our stories started at different places, different times, with different circumstances in the beginning. I'm not going to compare my chapter 1 or 2 to somebody else's chapter 20 or 21. It's an unrealistic expectation. And you have to also remind yourself that, look, I'm not creating value on other people based off of how they look or how they appear. I'm creating value on somebody's content of character, and you're not going to be able to actually judge somebody's content of character very well through social media. You're going to only be able to do that through one-on-one conversations or group conversations in person for the most part. I'll leave you with this. The very last thing, it's a very simple quote, one sentence by my man, Teddy Roosevelt. And this is what he had to say. There's a quote that I've always kind of resonated with, and that is, comparison is the thief of joy. So just understand that when you are making these comparisons, you're robbing yourself of the joy that you rightfully deserve by just looking within instead of looking on social media. That's all I got for today. I hope that helped you out with gaining a new perspective. And I hope that helped you out with the next time that you face, the situation where you're comparing yourself to somebody else, especially on social media. Thank you so much for the love and support. That's all I got. Much love and peace out.